Hello and welcome to Lesson 1 on indices. Today we hope to introduce you to the laws of indices, and hopefully at the very end of the lesson you'll have worked out some of the laws of indices for yourselves. But we'll try them anyway. Here we go. Let me undo that. Before we begin, remember you must make good notes throughout the lesson, but we're going to start off with some questions like this. So pause the video at any time and then play it when you want to see the answers. So pause the video now. Okay, so here we have 2, and we've got a 2 floating in the air. This means to the power of. This is an indices because it's floating in the air. And what it means is 2 times by itself, so that you can see there's 2 of them. Now you may have seen this before and written it as 2 squared, which is 4. What about this one? Well, 3 times 3 times 3, you could have written it as 3 cubed because you're timesing it by itself 3 times. And the answer would be, well, 3 times 3 is 9, 9 times 3 is 27. Now on this one, I'm not looking for a numerical answer, and some of you might be saying, oh, it's dead easy this, but the answer is a to the power of 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, indices, the powers in the air, only work if it's being multiplied by itself. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the first part of the lesson. What are indices? Well, indices are numbers that are in the air. That's not a very technical way of putting it, but let's take, for instance, 3 to the power 7. All that means is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Now have I finished? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it needs to be times by 3 again. And that would give us quite a big number, which I'm not going to work out. But mathematicians find that this is too long to work out, so they become lazy and just write numbers like this. So let's try it with algebra now. Let's take the letter y to the power of 4. Well, that's the same as just having y times y times y times y. And you can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4 y's. So, hence the number 4. Now, well, this is a question that I quite often get asked. What happens when we've got, let's take the letter y to the power of 3, and we multiply it by y to the power of 2? I'm going to take us right the way back to first principles, which is what we've just worked out. This number you can write as y times y times y. Now if we ignore this times sign at the moment and we rewrite this as y times y, then what have we got when we put the times sign right back in the middle? We've got y times y times y times y times y. So how many y's have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So y to the 5. So the answer there is y to the 5. Oh, have you managed to spot any pattern? If so, fantastic. Can you write that rule down that you've managed to discover yourself? And we're going to discuss it in class. Can you spot anything? So, was there anything between our original question and our answer? Now, whilst you're having to think about that, I'm just going to rub this out. Remember, you can rewind it at any time. But is there a link at all between what you've seen? Can you spot anything? It might help you when you come onto these questions now. Now, for this, I want you to simplify the following. Now, simplifying the following is just like doing this. So, we started off with something that was complex, and we ended up with something which was simple. That's all I'm looking for you to do on these ones. Remember, pause the video. Now, as you can see, some of those were started off quite easy, similar to what we've had before. Then I introduced a divide, and then I introduced brackets. Now, I'm going to go through these three things during the lesson, but I'd just like to introduce you to them now to see if you can get them. So, well done. You've done brilliantly if you've understood all of it, and if you managed to get 3 answers, that's even better. If you've only got the green answer, that's what we were looking for, but did you make good notes? Okay, I hope you have, and I look forward to seeing you in our next lesson.